And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It is that time again. It is the best time of the week, the only time of the week that matters. It is I, Kargoz, here to bless you with the classic WoW wisdom. I'm joined by Melderon, by Dunedain, and by Defcamp. Defcamp, hit him with the loud and thunderous.
Good morning, Azeroth!
Ah, the ear rape is real. Oh, welcome back, guys. Welcome back. It's been a minute. We kind of skipped last week, sort of, right? But I've had a bit of a second win, you know, second wind, if you got, you know, when it comes to classic WoW hype. I don't know why, dude. I'm just tingling all over, dude. I think it's because we're like a quarter away. We're like 3-4 months away. I can
we got some news,
I can
bro.
smell
we got
it.
some fucking news.
I wouldn't call it news. We got a whiff of Blizzard's ass, dude.
Yes.
We got a little sniff to it. It wasn't the most eventful.
That's a good way of
ever.
putting it, Kargoz. That's really good.
I didn't make a video on it. I looked at it and I was like, pass,
we
dude,
made it
pass.
within 12 minutes, I think.
Did you? That's record time. You might have beat Tips.
Yeah,
you might have beat him. You might have beat him to the punch.
I think we did, yeah.
Hype, dude. Look at all these people in here. 80 people already. 7 minutes of the stream. Already 80 motherfuckers in here. Oh, man, dude. Thanks for being here, guys. Hardly news, right? At least we got a little whiff, though, right? There's a pulse. There's a little bit of a you know,
a hint of
wavelength going.
Yeah.
It's enough to get the hype going again.
Absolutely.
So should we talk about it a little bit?
We will. But have you guys sensed any... I was predicting a little while ago, a few months ago, I was saying that once we get that next news, we're going to have this kind of up and to the right hype for Classic again. People are going to start to really remember that it's coming. Have you sensed that at all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there's definitely been an uptick in hype.
I'll tell you right now. So I've been working super hard for the past 2 weeks, guys. You may think that I have been MIA and I've been doing weird shit preparing for the wedding. Yes, that may be true. But I've pushed aside my adult responsibilities. And I have grinded like I have never grinded before on a new project that's coming out this week. It is the project. It is the biggest undertaking I've ever had. I'm really excited to share it with you guys, so stay tuned. It's going to be one video, multiple videos, something like that, but it's basically
freaking awesome.
More or less done. These guys have seen it. It's sick, so be ready for that. That's coming out this week. Forgot my train of thought, but oh yeah, I remember. Okay, so the videos, like I've been getting more comments on the videos. I do think something has changed in the atmosphere. People are starting to remember, oh yeah, dude, Classic WoW's coming out, man. Maybe I should put down the Apex Legends. Maybe I should stop playing, you know, whatever they're playing, you know.
Dark Souls. Something's coming over the horizon. We can smell it.
And I think the Classic WoW content has been of a very good caliber recently, the past couple months. People are putting out some quality, I mean, you guys have put really quality stuff. Like, I would almost say, what do you think the content for Classic WoW is better than retail in terms of the average quality?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the entire community is better.
I mean, and not only that, but look at the content that comes out about retail. Oh yeah, this week on fucking retail, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, and this sucks.
Looking forward to patch 8.1.7.6.5, where you have one more daily quest.
We kill the Lich King for the 17th time.
Yes. Now introducing Omega Titan Forging, Light Forge, Draenei Naru Undead, new class. Monk
we did
weaving.
Pigs can fly. Yeah, we did. They did. Pigs can fly. Next thing,
Monk
elephants will fly.
Yes, dude. Stay tuned for the new chakra system for monks, and dude, they're gonna be light forged and shit. Anyway, Classic WoW's coming, boys. We're a few months away. I've been doing my diligence. It's part. I mean, I guess I'll sort of announce it right now. So I've been working on this Hunter PvE guide, right? It sounds really simple on surface level.
Can I interrupt you really quick? I just want to say, but whatever you're going to say, I don't think it's going to do it justice. This is a incredible piece of work, guys. Go ahead, Kargoz.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And this is coming from a PhD. I tried to do my AMA sourcing and everything like that, but I've been working with some of the best hunters in the motherfriggin' world across private servers, top parses, extensive experience with the class. And we've come together as a team, and we've made this Hunter resource. And if you're going to play Hunter in Classic, I have no doubts in my mind that this is going to be all you need to be successful. So stay tuned for that. Let's start with an update. So I'm talking way too much. My energy level is like 11 right now. I need to bring it down.
I'm loving it, dude. I'm fucking loving it.
Dunedain, how the hell are you, man? How was your week, dude? Did you have a good week?
Yeah. I have holiday now, and well, actually, since he's in chat, I have been watching Grace for Days stream. I really loved it. So.
Yes,
hello, man.
First stream, right? Grace for Days. He's in the chat right now. Click his name. You won't. No balls. Click it. He's been doing good. He's been putting out videos every day on the grind, super hard. Very underrated content creator.
Absolutely.
Congrats.
Go check him out, guys.
Yup. That's the fam right there. I can't wait. So we haven't discussed this at all, but I'm hoping to just be your little fanboys, Defcamp, Melderon, dude. I want to roll on the same server you guys are rolling on to some capacity. I want to play with you guys, dude.
We definitely just said, like, the other day that we want to roll on the same server as you.
Right?
So,
It'd be so fun, dude.
Yeah, we were thinking, let's just do a guild, man. I mean, I know there's a cap of how
Let's
many people, but I just want to roll with you and just make it like one big thing.
Like we'll be class leaders, you know. Like I'll be priest, he can be shaman. But you know, we're gonna need someone.
Dunedain can be the Alliance Paladin.
Yeah,
it's sad that you're on the.
He'll be like the one Alliance guy we're kind of cool with. We like meet up in Booty Bay and we go inside a little tavern and we're like, hey man, what's going on with you? You good over there on that side? All right.
Oh, perfect. Stealth said he would join. Damn, that'd be awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, man. The hype is just real. I don't know why am I not burning out of this classic WoW game? How come everything in my life I burn out of? How come this game I don't burn out of? Is that why?
It's the greatest game in the world.
Never burn out, dude.
It's the game.
I got three alts right now that I'm playing, like nonstop.
3 alts, dude, in 2019.
Yeah, I'm playing
a shaman, a mage, and what's my other one?
I don't know. I thought it was 2.
No. I have my druid. My druid.
Oh, yeah,
druid.
Oh, and your druid. Nice.
And then I have my priest on top of that. So
I'm doing hunter and warrior. So yeah.
Cause it's the smile says because it's the best fucking game ever made, dude. Absolutely, man. Dude. Absolutely. So I've had a bit of a change of heart, guys. You know I've been saying warlock for months and months. I might play hunter, guys.
Rogue?
No, not rogue. Fuck no. I might play hunter, guys. I've been learning so much about hunter.
I thought you were gonna play hunter anyway.
It's my roots, guys. It's my roots, guys. Hunter, I could go on and on. I could probably speak for the next 6 hours straight.
Hold on a second. I gotta stop. But we have Countdown the Classic. We have Chimley in the chat right now.
Chimley's in the chat.
We have Dokken. We have Grace for Days.
God
so if you guys
damn.
aren't subscribed or listen to Countdown the Classic, Chimley, Grace for Days, Dokken, and was Perfect Stealth.
You're fucking up.
Yeah. You guys got it. You're
fucking up. These guys are the best.
Yeah.
So good. Amazing content, dude. Look at this. Look at the fam in here, man. I hope a lot of us are playing on the same server to some capacity. It's gonna be so fun, guys. So I may play Hunter. Guys. I could talk for 6 hours about all the reasons I love Hunter. I know I've been saying I'm going Warlock. Real quick, chat. What are you playing in Classic at this point? Doesn't have to be a definitive. I want to hear what you guys are playing. What are you gonna main? I know Melderon's playing Shaman. He's the Shaman Master. Defcamp's playing Priest. Dunedain's playing Paladin.
I'm still thinking.
You're still thinking?
I'm still thinking, man. Yeah, I was thinking of a Hunter as well, but now, just before we started Defcamp, kind of gave me interest in the healing classes again.
Okay.
So.
Well, if you're not playing Hunter, you're wrong. No.
Look at all that Warlock, Priest,
Let's see,
Rogue,
every class.
Warlock, Priest, Shaman, and Warrior. I see a lot of Warlocks, man.
Illiberal, autist, every class. That's damn right, dude. Do you guys think it's important to have a main, though? Do you think it's important to have a main?
Absolutely.
Especially on a fresh server. Especially on a fresh server. Something to really consider. You know, the Hunter thing, man, I've been thinking about it, man. I've been thinking about that money, man.
No,
it's just so much money
it's not
potential.
worth it. So this is my thing, right? Yeah. I'm going all in my Priest, and I'm going tailoring and enchanting, right? Getting those true faith vestments. I'm going rank 10 within the first. I'm trying to go rank 10 within the first couple months, right? Within the first month, I would love to.
It's not going to be out, though. It's not going to be out, dude. PvP system, they're going to delay it a little bit.
I know. Well, whenever it is coming, I want to get rank 10. I want to get my rank 10 gear. I want to get all that. I'm going to have, like, I was talking to Dunedain about this earlier. I'm like, what I do is, and we don't know what the respec costs are going to be. They might be 50 gold. We don't know if DM is going to be farmable. So my thing is now is, like, I raid. When I was raiding full time, I raid, and then I respec Shadow, and I PvP. So I farm DM, get enough money, get my consumables, respec. That's what I want to do. I want to get my Priest up, have enough money to farm, to respec, go Shadow, and I gotta have my Priest first, man. I gotta have.
Are you dual leveling with the bro? What are you gonna do, man? You gonna do a level? Are you gonna go?
So we're gonna dual level as much as we can, but I might be going pretty hard balls to the walls when Classic comes out. So I don't know if he's gonna be able to keep up.
It depends when my work schedule is gonna be. So I don't know.
Same here. That also depends.
For the record, guys, I'm gonna be streaming full time. Come Classic. I got permission from the wifey. That is going to be the 9 to 5 for me. So I'm trying to put out as many guides as I can in the interim. So when Classic comes out, it's gonna be pure, unadulterated Kargoz, probably 8 hours a day. So just a little.
That's a good question, Daniel May. Defcamp, are you gonna be doing any Priest guides?
Yes, I am. Well, I would like to do them. So we have some things planned out. I have some things planned out. So we have a healing guide that we have planned out coming out pretty soon, which is going to be more of a basic healing guide. That's going to be about down.
It's more than mathematical exploration. It's not really a basic healing guide, but
yeah, it's more of a. So we're talking about like why you in Classic WoW, what the actual numbers are, what they look like for each class. And then after that, I'm going to do more exploration into the actual Priest. I want to do You know, we're going to talk about what you're going to look like when you're leveling, what you're going to look like when you're going towards endgame. I myself like to... Now, this is just my thing. I'm going to talk about the possibilities of going discipline within the first couple months before you get... Because we all know, before you get geared, right, you don't have a lot of intellect. And by going discipline, you allow yourself to have 10% more intellect. You also get power infusion to help the DPS or to help yourself. So I like going disc within the first... before I get a lot of my tier 1. Once I get a lot of my tier 1, once I get a lot of spirit, you know, I go down into the holy hero spec. That's, you know, spiritual healing and increased healing, all that. But the first month or so, I really like to go disc. So I want to do some guides exploring that, exploring what you're going to look like at the beginning of your WoW career. So look forward to that coming as closer when we get to... I would like to do it once we got a beta or something like that, but who knows? We might not even get a beta.
We may not even get a beta. Real quick though. So let's say, imagine you guys had all the characters at level 60, right? You had everything.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Do you still think... I'm trying to get to the point of, like, conceptually, like, is there a value in picking a main, though? Like, a class that you identify with more than the other classes. Let's say you had them all to 60. It's not just convenience. Like,
so you're saying you have 9 characters that have no pre-raid bis, they're just at level 60.
I'm just saying, imagine if you had all characters fully geared out, full bis. To me, I see some value. I see some value in choosing a class that this is my main, though. I don't know. Even if you had access to all of them. I'm trying to unravel it a little bit, but it's almost...
I know what you mean, because like sometimes I get bored. Like, okay, that's why I go Shadow. That's why I play between Shadow and Holy and Disc, like almost every week, man. Like I love exploring all 3 specs of my class. It costs a lot of money, yeah, but it's fucking fun, dude. Like I love going to Shadow. Dude, Shadow is so good in PvP. Disc is amazing in PvP. Disc is amazing in PvE. You know, we're gonna have 16 debuff slots in Classic. Could that mean I can raid a Shadow? Probably not. That's not my thing, but I could if I wanted to one week. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go that first before I start messing with alts. Like, I'm gonna have my Paladin on an Alliance server somewhere, sitting there getting his rested XP. I'm gonna have a Shaman that I'm gonna have sitting rested, but my main balls to the wall, going hard on the priest.
But you almost develop in Classic. It's kind of the environment of Classic. You develop like a brand around your class and your name, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like, even if I had access to all the classes and all the gear, you kind of have an identity that you've built up. I almost feel like it's kind of important to maintain that to a certain extent. And
I mean, look at Melderon. Melderon the Shaman, Kargoz the Hunter, Defcamp the Priest, Dunedain the Paladin. Like, that's who we are, you know?
I think Kargoz also means you kind of develop an identity on the server. You get known on a certain character.
Even with yourself, though, I feel guilty every time I say I want to play Warlock, because I'm not a Warlock player. I've never been a Warlock. Kargoz is a Hunter. Like, so to me, it's almost like I'm playing Warlock, but is that really... Like, okay, it's almost like forsaking your own values. Everybody has their own set of cards that you're dealt, right? You're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. You know, everyone has different stats in real life. But imagine you could trade places with Brad Pitt right now. A lot of people probably would do it because Brad Pitt looks awesome. But I would hope that people would just want to stick to their self and be like, you know what? This is my set of cards, but this is me. You know, I'm imperfect. So a part of me just wants to stay Hunter, man, because that's my roots.
Yeah, I think there's something about like specializing yourself. You know what I mean? Specializing yourself into a certain thing that you love and you really, you know. I mean, do I love warriors? Yeah, I love warriors. I love mages too. But there's something about, I feel like I'm cheating on my wife if I play another class, man.
Right?
It's like, I don't know. It's just.
Well, you can play another class, but to main another class,
like a main endgame.
Main another class.
Maining another class.
Main another class.
Kargoz, can I ask, which expansions did you play?
Dude, all of them, bro. I played. Look at this, dude. Like I played all.
Yeah, I can see.
Look at Countdown. No, I have a Brad Pitt blow up doll Countdown to Classic. We bring it out when things get stale. You know what I mean, dude?
Yeah.
Did you play Hunter as a main in most of them?
I did, yes, dude, of course. It's always been
so
my
that makes it quite easy to say you're a Hunter.
Rip.
In my case, I switched between 3 classes, so I don't know, man. I like them all.
You like them all?
All 3.
But let's say you played all the classes, then you wouldn't have an identity in the game. You wouldn't be Dunedain the Paladin. You'd just be some guy who just plays WoW. Like, I don't know.
Dunedain, I feel like if you had to pick one, you would pick Paladin, though.
That's true. And that's also my favorite character from all expansions in the past.
I think the question you have to ask yourself, if you had a gun to your head and someone said pick your main, you know, so you would say something, but why would you say that? Why would, if someone had a gun to your head, Defcamp, and you said priest, why would you say priest?
because I love. Okay, so okay, for me, it comes down to like two main things, right? I love the way they heal. I love the way the priests heal. I love the fact that I have AoE heals. I have a bubble I can use. I have hots. I have this wide array of heals, but I also love the fact that I can do damage as a fucking Shadow Priest, right? Like, I think the appeal of the Shadow Priest, even though I play the Holy Priest more than I play Shadow, the appeal of the Shadow Priest is what really comes out to me. So, you know, I love, and that's the thing, like, I love to melee once in a while. Like, that's why I usually have a rogue or a shaman or some other class that I can do melee. But when it comes down to it, dude, I love the fact that I'm a fucking amazing healer. Like, you know, I can do all these different fucking heals. I can do AoE heals. I can, you know, sit there and be at the top of the heal charts. And I can also go into a fucking battleground and just destroy people. Like, when it comes down, I love the play style. I love the what's it called? The appeal.
Let's talk about the
like,
aesthetics, dude. Do you like the aesthetics? I don't think I could play a class if I didn't like the aesthetics. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Is that too casual?
Are you talking about gear, or are you talking about
it's not too casual. I think
spells.
So let's look at the shot. Like, I think you said this as well, Defcamp. Arguably, like, the shaman spells look awesome, right? Yes. I think that is a factor of why I play shaman.
They look the coolest, I think.
It's not the biggest factor why I play shaman, but it's definitely a factor. So I think there is some of that, sure. I like the way when you see Wind Fury proc and you see that like with the tornado go around you. You know what I mean? It's like. I don't know. Yeah, so Defcamp's been playing shaman now.
Remember that Wind Fury video, dude? That guy made where it's like how Wind. No, the guy that Mezio, dude, Mizio, whatever is it? Mizoto. It was like how Wind Fury makes you feel.
Yeah, right? Dude, it's so true. Dude, I fucking one-shot. I one-shot 3 people the other day.
Dude, he is a shaman, right, chat?
Two of them have to be warlocks. So.
This guy right here, he's a shaman. He's got the wisdom part of him. You know, he's a giver. You know, he's a shaman. Melderon is a shaman. Like, he just embodies the class. You know?
Thank you.
I'm a hunter. I'm a selfish fucker. Like, Defcamp is a priest. Like, Dunedain is a paladin. He's a very good guy. I can tell he's a very morally, ethically...
I don't know what you're going to say about the priest.
But Defcamp has a dark side. Do you guys think that we look different?
He's got a bowl of candy with him at all times.
Shut the fuck up.
Yo, chat. Do you think we look different from the classes that we are choosing, or no? Do you think what classes would we all be? Well, we've asked this before, but it's very curious. Like, knowing what you know about us right now, you've probably seen a lot of Defcamp and Melderon's videos. You've probably seen some of Dunedain's videos. He's got some great videos, by the way. If you're not subscribed to Dunedain, subscribe to Dunedain. Shout out to Dunedain. And you've seen my videos. What classes are we? Like, watch them all say I'm like a gnome rogue, dude. Watch it. Don't say that, though. Don't say that. Let's see, dude. Dirty
a gnome rogue. Yeah.
Priest.
No. You're a troll. You're a troll hunter, dude. You're a troll hunter. I don't know what it is. You're a troll hunter, bro. Yeah.
Troll.
I don't know. You just remind me of a troll. I don't know why. The whole not like a troll. Like you're like the troll. Like just like visually, kind of like yeah, man, you're my bro, brother. Like I don't know. It's just the whole like. Jamaican thing. I don't know.
Dude, I might go troll hunter because of that, though. If everyone tells me like I look like a troll hunter or I should be a troll hunter, maybe I should, because I see myself as an orc, but I'm not as brolic as an orc. I think Melderon embodies an orc more. Maybe I am troll, dude. Maybe I am troll. I'm a little bit taller. Like
no warrior. Revolting revolver.
Or hunter for Kargoz, bro.
Pink-haired gnome rogue. I like that.
Troll hunter all the way. Rasta Kargoz, dude. Let's see. Holy
Def
priest,
is such a pally. I do like pally, dude. I do like pally. If I could play pally and horde, I probably would.
Alright.
You should play alliance, though.
If you had to pick, what would be your second choice? We always hear Defcamp and Melderon. They're always priest and shaman. If you had to pick another class, though, to main, what would it be?
Me?
What comes second best?
Warrior.
Paladin.
That's a 180, dude.
Well,
I know.
What about you, Kargoz?
Oh, warlock.
I'm getting up there with druid though. I really like druids lately, as of late, and shop.
Kargoz is a troll melee hunter. I'm the dude with wing clip. Wing clip. I'm the nightfall wielder, man, because I keep dying to fire. That's funny, bro. Least favorite class. Man. I think we all know this, right? I'm rogue. Defcamp's is hunter, probably. Fucking. What do you got?
Yes, it's hunter. Yeah.
For me, it's going for rogue as well.
Paladins, dude. You don't hear that every day. For some reason,
What?
Melderon
No,
has a
Ron.
hatred for Paladins.
It's
dude.
my least favorite
No.
vanilla WoW class. Absolutely, it's Paladin.
I think it's
Oh,
because
God.
people compare Paladins and Shamans so much, and they say that that Paladins son Shamans or something. Maybe that's why.
Let me give Paladins a little bit of love for 1 second. Let me just say, I don't love Paladins because of red. I don't love Paladins because of prot. I love Paladins because they are fucking amazing healers, right? Okay, I am annoyed just as much as the next person when you're 1v1 in a Paladin, he bubbles, and then you're like, oh, I can get him again, and then he fucking lays on hands, and then you're like, oh my god, like I literally have to kill this Paladin twice. I understand the hate that.
No,
But-
it's also the class fantasy too.
Okay, but I thought you liked the
Of
class
Paladins? How's the class
Yeah,
fantasy? Okay,
yeah.
okay, break this down.
Because they're like goody two shoes. Yeah, I'm not really into that.
Okay, that's kind of true, actually. Is Paladin... Paladin is the most goody two... We established this, right? Paladin is the most goody two-shoes class because even Priest has a dark side with shadow and stuff, right? You can be shadow. Paladins is like... The most dark they can be is they can be a little they can be, you know, vengeful, you know, like someone...
But not every priest has that dark side, you know what I mean? Not every priest... So I will say, but I agree, like Paladins, to me though, when I play a Paladin, I'm playing them for holy, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, Pally's fun, but there is nothing that compares to the efficiency and the speed of a vanilla WoW holy Paladin. You will, if you know how to play that class correctly, you will always be on the top of the charts.
Damn.
Always.
So you play it because it's the best healer, rather?
No, I like the... So I love the idea of putting a fucking debuff on a target and everyone getting healing from it. Like, I love... You know what I'm talking about with the blessing... I'm sorry, fucking Judgment of the Light. So, like, I love, you know, the idea of judging a fucking target and, like, people getting healing from... Even though it's minimal, it's not a lot, or you judge a target and get mana back. Like, I love that idea. I also love the idea of, like, you know, getting these fast crit heals that give you mana back. I just...
Yeah, it's
I
nice
like
game.
the style of it.
Yo,
you know?
Def,
Can
you
I say
realize that
why
there's... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Can I say why I like Paladin so much?
Yes.
It's because basically I always pick a human, and I think humans, male humans, the human dance, the human jokes, the emotes, the fierce emotes, and all that stuff. That's perfect when you do it with the Paladin, and you can troll a little bit, and you can run those circles in the dead mines when the tank is almost dying, and then you can just throw your heals at them. You can bubble Hearthstone. You can do all those trolly things and tell those silly jokes, and then you can just stand dancing there while people are taking hits, damaging, and you're just
Yo,
doing
real
your
quick.
pleasure flights.
There's like
It's awesome.
240 people in here, dude. The game's not even out yet.
Hey
Classic's
guys,
not
hey
even
guys.
out yet.
Thanks for
We
being
have
here.
240
So-
people across both watching us. Yo, we also have a Twitch Prime subscription, dude. Thank you,
Oh,
TD
holla.
Priest 13 for the Twitch Prime subscription, dude. Thank you
Priest.
very much, man. Thank you for all of you guys being here. It's so nice to see the classic community still going strong during the downtime. You know?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Come
Should
and
we
see.
should we talk about that little spot of news we got?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
All right,
Let's see
I have this
some
little browser thing
dumb-
here. I put it here. Let me see my high production value stream here. Let's see if I can get this here. All right, look at this little high production value stream we got going on. All right, here we go. So here is
We're not going to have to read the whole thing. Give us the breakdown. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay, Classic
That's a
WoW
TV
team. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see
You
it.
can see it, right? All right. Classic team has posted a status update. This update was posted, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Classic enthusiasts, Calix wrote. We've been following the discussions, blah, blah, blah. Okay, can someone summarize it? I don't even remember it fully.
Yeah, essentially, all they said was they got some things wrong
In the demo.
in the demo. They're sorry for that. A few things that we thought that were wrong that they were right about because we had our private server goggles on.
Yeah.
Like with Warlock summoning pets. So apparently in vanilla, when you summon another pet, your first pet went away.
And wanding
people-
pushback, right?
And wanding pushback too is another thing. So your wanding speed, it can be pushed back. And so these are things that kind of came up, and people thought that, oh, you're wrong, Blizzard. And Blizzard's like, no, we went on the 1.12 client, and we're right. So there are some things that we think either our memory's cloudy or we're just so our memory's been changed by private servers that we kind of think that they're not. But there's a few things, like one of the things they said is like, dodges and parries and misses weren't happening often enough. That worries me a lot because they have the algorithm and they have the formulas for those stats,
and they still got it wrong.
And how they get it wrong. So that kind of bothered me. Other than that, we literally
they
got
talked about
nothing
crit,
else.
the crit chance.
Oh
and
yeah,
crit,
how there was a piece of gear that said crit rating instead of chance to crit was increased by
health
X%.
regen, rogue energy.
Yeah.
And like Chris Pratt said, they definitely dodged anything about, like, they didn't mention anything about loot trading, which to me says they're probably going to fucking
sharding, server population,
server pop,
cash shop,
UI,
and
they
beta.
did mention the graphics a little bit. Didn't they mention something about the graphics?
Yeah.
They want to focus more on gameplay and less than on graphics. That's basically what they said.
You're worried about crit and what else? Parry stuff. So are you worried about wrong stats on bosses and stuff like that?
Well, no. Well, I guess what I mean is that they. Well, so in the demo there wasn't any bosses or anything, right? But but basically they were saying is that things weren't happening enough. And Kargoz, you're reading it. Maybe you can find that passage. But it was like misses, blocks, parries, or something like that wasn't happening enough.
Bro, I think this is just a summary article. I mean, to me, it just shows that they're alive. Like, it was like 3 months, bro. No update for 3 months, right? So
yeah, I'm gonna pull my video up.
There's they are alive. They're working on it. They said there's more information coming soon. They're focusing on gameplay. I mean, I'm just happy that they're still alive, man. They give us a little something, a little nugget.
So, what do you guys think? I honestly feel like we may not see a beta.
A beta.
You guys think that this leans more that way?
But I always thought there might not be a beta, and I kind of like it not to. I mean, if there's a beta, it might kill hype. I don't think I would really play the beta as much. Either.
Really? See, I understand that, but I'm also afraid that we jump into Classic and there's a fuck ton wrong with it. You know?
Yeah, but there shouldn't be anything wrong with it because they have everything. So
there shouldn't have been that much wrong with the demo, but there was. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
so
the demo
was
an early stage of development, so I suppose they have enough time now. They had enough time, and they will have some time before it launches to fix everything.
Yeah.
So here's the 5 things. Critical strike rating. Each item now improves your chance to get a critical strike by X%. Okay, that's easy. Rogue energy didn't work right. It was both benefiting from melee haste and recalculating more often than when it's supposed to. Both issues were fixed. Slow fall no longer applies to your jumps, which makes sense because slow fall should only occur after you fall a certain amount of X distance. And you again get pushed back when you get hit by range attacks and wands. So wands were not causing people to get pushed back on their spell casting. So if you're dueling a mage and the mage is wanding you, you should get pushed back when that wand hits you.
For sure.
Oh,
for sure.
So the wanding isn't getting pushed back though.
No. No. Wanding should cause cast pushback.
But it wasn't.
Okay.
But it was.
Yes.
Okay.
And then finally, dodge, parry, and miss were not all happening often enough. That is the most alarming thing to me right there. How did they not get that right?
It's because they're reverse engineering it, though, man. They're taking like the client and they're taking stuff out of it and changing the values instead of they didn't have it saved or whatever.
We were talking about values today, like about like crit rating and you know how so like we're talking about how obviously in a level 20 shaman, right, who has say 40 agility total on all his gear, has like 15%.
It's quite the set right there, dude. 40 agility, nice.
Yeah, I mean, so like level 30 something shaman, right? Level 30 something shaman, whatever. You have like.
It also includes his base agility too.
Yeah, base agility. So you have X amount of agility, and then that gives you say 50% crit. Well, shaman who is level 60 needs a lot more agility to get that much crit because their agility has.
So
more
the whole
gear.
thing, when people think 20 agility equals 1% crit in shaman, that's based on level 60. That's not based when you're leveling. You get more crit percentage per each point of agility the lower level you are. And that's never really talked about, and that's something that people need to realize is that the base stats have a level variable in their formulas.
Yeah.
Interesting. Because when you're at 60, the more gear you get. I was just doing the stat weights for Hunter. The more gear you get, the more strong you become. You get the stat weights change, right? More favorably. You almost get like more attack power per point of agility or whatever it is.
Well, just based on level. So once you hit 60, you get the same amount of attack power per agility.
So there's some bonus pre-level 60.
Exactly. That's why there's such a big difference between someone who just hit 60 and someone who's got max gear. You know what I mean? Because that person who's just hit 60 and has got like gear that they leveled up with, the person who's got max gear are like almost feel like they're 10 levels apart. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But the thing is that I realize, and I think I mean, a lot of people know this, but there's so much math involved in vanilla WoW. Just forget about WoW. Just there's so much math involved in little things like this. When we talk about stats and their weights, and there is a lot that could go wrong, and a lot that people assume is correct from private servers. There's a lot that I assumed, like, oh yeah, that's the same. Melderon and I today we're talking about flurry procs. How when you proc flurry, your next if you say you proc flurry and right afterwards you proc Wind Fury, that Wind Fury does not take all 3 of those flurry procs. It just takes 1. But however, that same Wind Fury can proc 3 flurry over again and replenish that flurry. So there's a lot of like little things and like, okay, is that going to work?
Yeah, and the way we actually confirmed that was looking at the Unbreakable video,
right?
Which is actual vanilla footage. So that's how you got to go back and look at the shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's like there's no. What else?
You got to look at that Bandicam footage, right? That Frats footage.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you and me, but Melderon, I wasn't even looking at what the fuck Flurry even did. I'm like, oh, I procs something cool. I didn't know what the hell it was, know what it did. You know what I mean? Like, I was, my knowledge of the game is far more exceeds now than it did then.
Can you imagine real quick? I was thinking about this the other day. Okay, the colossal amount of information that we know now, right, about the game, and there's still stuff we have to learn. We're all students of the game, right? We're learning about this. Can you imagine how lost in the sauce we were back in the day? This was the same game. All this was still going on. We just had no fucking clue, man.
I know, dude.
Like, it is insane to me, the fact that there's still so much that we don't know. Like I was talking to Lestor today, there's still no one's done a Paladin spreadsheet to find stat weights and stuff. Like,
yeah, dude, I know. There's so much work that needs to be done. That's the thing. Like, we're trying to, like, with Classic Law Live, with what we're doing, we're trying to make a place where people can come and say, listen, I've got some information, where we can work together, right? Because a lot of people do their own work and they do great, they do amazing jobs, but as soon as you introduce somebody else, that's another brain you have to look from the outside and say, hey, I remember this, I remember this, I remember this. Like, I always said, when I played guitar for the first time, I taught myself, right? So I got used to playing, like, what was kind of sloppy, considering I only knew my way of playing guitar. So when I met up with another guitarist and he taught me, it's a lot easier to do a slide like this, or it's a lot easier to do it like that, and taught me how to play more efficiently. When it's the same thing that goes for Classic WoW. Same thing goes for when you're putting theory crafting together. You get somebody else's point of view in there. You get somebody else, maybe they remember it differently. Maybe they have some information that you don't have. So when we can go to a community and kind of put our heads together, this is when we get the information and when it gets like the best. We all remember things a certain way. Our memories are not 100% foolproof. I know mine's not. I did a lot of fucking shit to my head.
Amen, brother.
I fucked up my memory. So, it really is beneficial to have, places like this where we can go and try to figure shit out. Because I know, for one, I don't remember jack shit when it came to my certain things with my priest and the healing. We talked about the 3.5 second cast is the base cast for vanilla. So 3.5 spell coefficient, you get 100% of your spell power in the 3.5 second cast, and then down from there you get less of your spell power. So like that's when we talk about down ranking is not really efficient until you get more spell power. When you don't have any spell power, the efficiency is not what you think it is. It becomes much more efficient when you have more spell power.
So down ranking becomes much more important the more spell power you have. However, something to always, no matter how much spell power you have, lower ranks always cost less mana. So that's something they will always cost less mana. However, at 0 spell power, your highest ranked spells are more mana efficient.
Yep, your HPME.
Yeah, your HPMEs. But the more spell power you get, the more efficient it gets to down rank.
That is such a valuable little nugget to keep in mind, right? As you're going through vanilla, right? That is A1 right there, man.
But those are just like one of the fucking many things. You know what I mean? That for us, like, I didn't fucking know, and that 14 years ago. Someone just told me to use rank 1 greater heal, and I did it. I didn't know why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No fucking clue.
Yeah, so it's an interesting thing. We're working on that. We're working on that math now. It's going to be a little while till that comes out, but we're working on that. But And there are some tools out there now that actually calculates it, and we'll put that in our description of the video. We'll say there are some like freeware GitHub stuff that's been put out there that talks about stuff like that.
So any more news though? That we pretty much cover the news, right?
That's pretty much it, man. I mean,
yeah.
Let me see this article here, man. So it's coming out. They're focusing on gameplay. Gotcha.
We may get some more frequent news, they said. So I'm hoping, at the end they said more news soon, and then they said
soon, not soon. TM.
Oh yeah,
TM,
not soon. TM. Yeah.
So I'm hoping they will bring out.
What does that mean? Like not soon TM?
What is Blizzard soon, bro?
It means Blizzard soon. So
Blizzard soon is like a soon TM, like 10 years from now.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
That's the stat weight right there.
Soon is not everyone else's soon. Sorry.
1 minute Blizzard time is equivalent to about 3 months.
It's like being in a black hole, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
There's like huge time dilation between Blizzard and everyone else, but
I thought Soon TM was like a game or something like that.
We were starting to think. I mean, now that this is out in the open, I think it's kind of a moot point. We were starting to think that Classic wasn't even going to launch in the summer, man. Like that they were just going to push it out. And we were reading
I was a little weirded out. So many people were like putting on their video thumbnails Classic like summer confirmed. I thought it's always been confirmed. Like, I don't understand why people were freaked out about that.
Well, they confirmed it, but they could always say, "Oh, we jumped the gun, guys." You know.
I don't know. I think when you're in a business like that, you
they'll have it on the last day of summer, right? The very last day of summer. We got it out in summer, you know.
Even I'd be fine with that, dude. I'd be fine with that. That's the thing, though. Like, man, we were starting to think that it was going to come out because they had that post. Remember, I forgot who found it, but they were saying we're looking forward to getting Classic out later this year, and they didn't say summer. We were starting to speculate it wasn't going to be summer, but remember, based on this post, it seems like their ducks are still in a row and the plan hasn't changed. So we're hoping for summer at this point.
And to me, it also seems it's not the end of the summer. They say Classic summer, so I guess that means at least half of the summer.
It's good for you. Good news for you as a teacher, right?
Yeah. That's awesome.
Dude.
Yeah. Also, a little bit of side news. This doesn't really, but there's a server that shall not be named that's being DDoSed all day today. So if you're trying to get on there, you don't know what's happening.
Shall not be named, dude.
Yeah, it's being
Voldemort.
DDoSed.
The Voldemort.
So,
yeah, exactly.
So I don't
know what's happening, but
Kargoz wanted to talk about some balancing.
Oh, yes, you reminded me. Thank you, Defcamp, for the Russian accent. It really just brings out the best in me. Anyway, guys, we were thinking. So I've been doing this investigation, like I said, right, for the past 2 weeks. You guys may have thought that I've been AFK. I actually have not. I've been grinding ferociously, executing on all cylinders, creating this amazing hunter resource, which will be released in the next couple days. But anyway, as I'm going through the motions, right, people always throw out this meme like, hunters and raids, they have shit DPS, they're the lowest pure DPS class. From this point on, I'm no longer going to start, like, saying definitively one class is worse than another and stuff when it comes to DPS, because there's just too many variables to take into account. And what I'm learning about the game is this, pretty much this. Vanilla WoW was the only iteration of World of Warcraft where consumables and items and world buffs and all these different things that you have access to out in the world played such a massive role into balance. And not only balance in PvE, balance into PvP, balance into leveling. And the TLDR statement to be made here is that you can pick any class, and I would even go so far as to say any spec within any class. And if you're willing to work extra hard and go out and pick up every consumable you can possibly have access to, and you do your homework, right? Unless you're playing at the very top level, you're going to be able to operate in a tier 1 capacity, because you will find enthusiasts for every class and for every spec who have crunched the numbers, and it's unique to other versions of WoW where consumables and world buffs and gear and engineering items, they didn't play as big of a factor, right? So
absolutely not. What
I would say to you is go out there and play the class that resonates with you the most. If you're willing to go the extra 9 yards, you're going to be able to make it work, bro.
I 100%, like we were talking a little about this earlier. Well, Melder and I, we made a little bit of a balancing guide that we talked about 3 different aspects of the game: leveling, PvE, and PvP. And right now, I'm just going to talk about PvE. So you go into a fight, say you're a balanced druid, right? And you know in your guild, right, that you're going into this fight, you're going to bring yourself some mana pots, some demonic runes, some elixirs. You're going to know that, okay, in this fight, I can use Innervate myself because other druids covering the priest. If you go in there with the foreknowledge and the buffs and the utilities and everything you can perform at a relative, relative to what everyone else is doing. You might be a little bit lower, but if you have the foreknowledge and you have the ability to bring stuff to the table, you really can perform. You got to remember, you're going to work a little bit harder. But some people like that. Some people like to work a little bit harder. They don't like to be given a warrior. You get your pre-raid BIS and you're top of the chart. Some people are like, okay, that's cool, that's awesome. But a lot of people like to work hard and to get rewarded for it, and that's what vanilla is all about in my eyes, right? You work hard, you get rewarded. And someone turns around and sees a balanced druid at number 7 on DPS, I'm gonna be like, damn, that dude knows what he's doing, right? That dude came prepared, came fucking ready to put his willy out and start showing everybody like what he can do. And to me, that just like, yeah, are we gonna see 20 balanced druids in a raid? No. Are we going to see 5? No. We see 1 to 2 , maybe.
I don't know. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think there's not enough math out there to say that with confidence. That every spec has a place in a raid.
I won't say every spec. No, honestly, you're not going to go into a raid as like a sub rogue when you could go. I mean,
well, then why would you go in as a boomkin then?
Right, because a lot of people like to play boomkin. Like boomkin.
But are you saying you're going to be able to down patchwork with a boomkin in your raid?
Maybe one boomkin.
I think you'd be able to down him with it. I mean, like I said, okay, I think it depends what you define your tier 1 as. We were talking about this earlier, right? Like, I don't know what the percentage of really, really high-level guilds is going to be. What, maybe 5%, 1%? All I'm saying is, like, okay, you have these people that are really trying to min-max it, right? Like, they're going above and beyond the path of least resistance. Everybody's doing everything in their power to be the absolute best. But that's not the vast majority of the player base, right? And what I'm saying is if you're a really, really good, sophisticated player, and the reason why I'm pulling up this consumable list right now is, guys, look at this. There are so many consumables that you have access to. So many world buffs, so many consumables. There's profession implications where if you're willing to go the extra 9 yards and get everything you can possibly get to set yourself up in the best possible position, I think you can do pretty well. Right?
That's all I'm going to say. You can be in the mix. Yes. I 100% agree. You might not top the chart. You might not come to the top 5, but you might turn some friggin' heads.
I mean, there's probably room for 1 or 2 of them, but I just want to be careful. I don't want to give people false hope into thinking they can roll whatever they want.
Sure, but I also don't want people to think that they can't roll. They can't roll into BWL as a balanced druid.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying.
I honestly think 40 balanced druids, not 40, but all balanced druids as DPS can perfectly clear Molten Core and BWL.
I agree.
Bro,
I agree.
Molten Core is not rocket science. You know what I mean? You don't have to.
Yeah. No, it's not. But what about the other?
What I want to say, you can do patchwork. I mean, I guarantee you're probably going to be 1 balanced druid. Yeah. You're probably going to have an enhancement shaman or someone putting up Nightfall. You got to remember, man, like, people...
Yeah, but enhancement shaman are not only providing Nightfall, but they're probably totem twisting, too.
Well, I understand. That's the thing, and you're bringing other things to the table as well.
Yeah.
So, we're talking right now, like, say, okay, an elemental shaman. Be prepared, though, to know, like, you might have to spend an extra 500-600 gold per raid than everyone else is, maybe more. You're gonna need to make sure that you have a mana pot, a demonic rune, everything available that you can, if you want to perform...
Yeah. You're bolstering my point that PvE is not balanced.
No, I'm not saying that it is. I'm not saying that it is. But like Kargoz said, what we're saying is there are things that you can do to give yourself an upper hand.
Yeah, I think the only way the game is balanced is if you look at all 3 aspects like we did in that video. That's the only way the game becomes balanced. I personally believe.
All right, okay, so we're talking about like balance. Like what I'm trying to say is, I'm not trying to say like okay. So say for example, you go in as a Shadow Priest, bash your head in. Exactly. You're going to spend a lot of money with demonic runes as Shadow. Like for a lot of people, they're like, you're a Shadow Priest. Your only job is do whatever you got to do to keep up a shadow mending. The hell it's called, I forget. Yeah, shadow mending, whatever. So do whatever you got to do that. But like me, I'm going to want to do as much DPS as I can. I'm going to make sure that I can do my rotation consistently until the boss is dead. And a lot of the times, when it does help having a lot of other higher DPS, if you can go through your rotation quicker and, kill the boss and still have a little bit of mana left, like that feels good. And knowing that you did everything you could and the potential that you have is yeah, it's lower compared to everyone else. But you're gonna have to spend more money. You're gonna have to do these things, but you can do it. That's what we're saying. It's possible.
It's possible. And it's as soon as you know, okay, the best of the best are going to do what they do, but the vast majority of the players are not going to be in that top super high level echelon. You're going to have a lot more wiggle room, and you can play specs that are traditionally considered meme specs. And if you get all these consumables, you work super hard, you farm up demonic runes, you do whatever you need to do, and you can make it work, right? And I would say, unless you guys can correct me right now in the chat too, if you guys have an opinion on this, has there been any other iteration of World of Warcraft, BC, Lich King, Pandaland, whatever, Draenor, all the iterations where it's been this type of environment, where consumables, world buffs, weird wonky items, all these things have played such a large role into balance?
In every expansion, they became less and less a part, less and less of a part of the game. You know, in you had the world buffs, you had consumables. I mean, look at engineering in vanilla WoW. Like, yeah, engineering was a thing in BC. A lot of people didn't use it as much as they did in vanilla, or it wasn't as, but you had things like, classes who offered pretty much no AoE, able to put down, some charges or put down some AoE DPS. You also have classes that don't have a stun in PvP, able to throw an iron grenade and stun someone. Like, just that one profession alone, don't even mention about alchemy, how much you can do with alchemy, how much added spell power, how much, with enchanting, with your oils and wizard, things like that. Like, just looking at engineering alone bridges the gap a little bit. Just a little bit.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit.
All I'm saying is I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. I think that these flavorful things bring more to the table than just... But I'm saying is, if... having to spend all that money or all that time or all that time investment and is not balance to me.
No, it's not.
That's all I'm saying. I don't think that.
All I'm saying is that vanilla WoW is a better platform to be creative than any other templated. Like, the opposite
100%.
is like a templated
100%.
environment. You go to BFA right now, everything is streamlined and templated. I get it. From an esports perspective, all these variables need to be under control and streamlined. I get the justification for why it is.
Perfect Self brings up the reason why I think it's so important. Go ahead, Kargoz.
I'm like going on like a fucking spiritual journey to understand why vanilla is so good, and I'm starting to realize I'm landing on the idea that it's these factors, it's the items, it's the world buffs. So if you think about it, being a noob back in like these other versions of WoW, you're so limited by what your class has to offer. Your class is either kind of in a good spot or it's in a bad spot, and it kind of is what it is. Vanilla offers this whole different dynamic where you have all these wonky items that can do weird things, and you have you can't use all the items. Like, you have some limitations. You can only use a couple trinkets at a time or whatever it is.
Look at PvP alone. Look at PvP alone. You have items like okay, so Title Charm, right? Like, you have items. Okay, like, you guys know those Murlocs in Westfall, those that have. So you don't just need an engineer to use the net. You can get the ones from the Murlocs in Westfall, which don't have a chance to actually net you. Then okay, you need to remove a poison or a disease. Go to Shacklethorn Vale, get some jungle remedies. Get a loofah. You want to get out of Polymorph. There's so many things that we're not even talking like.
The meta is huge. The meta is huge
right now. Yeah. Like, when you said you have such a chance to be creative, so many people underestimate vanilla WoW PvP, dude. Vanilla WoW PvP is one of the most amazing. Like, if you have the items and the knowledge to go out there and say, okay, I have my engineering trinkets, I have my engineering helm, I have my mind control helm, the stun the helm with the one that stuns them when you charge them. There's so many cool things you can do, and so many things you can do to bridge the gap. Like, okay, say you're an enhancement shaman and you're trying to close on a mage. You use the net, you use your iron grenades. There's so many things you can do.
Yeah.
And it does bridge the gap. However,
it doesn't bridge the gap. It just allows you to possibly even the playing field a little bit. I don't think it bridges.
I think it's a lot, bro. I think it evens it a lot. Unless you're at the super high level, right? I get it. Like, okay.
Perfect Stealth brings up the reason why. Vanilla World of Warcraft, not only does it have the larger meta than any other expansion, but it also is the truest to a tabletop game. When you play a tabletop game and you pick Paladin or you pick Druid, or you pick things, you know ahead of time what your role is. And Vanilla WoW actually is one of the few MMORPGs now. So I'm talking about now, classic WoW. EverQuest had this, and the older, where it follows what you should be doing, right? So if you pick Druid, you know you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. If you pick Shaman, you know you're a hybrid class that has high utility. If you pick Warrior, you know you're a tank. Or, well, they also are a very good DPS. There's nothing wrong with that. That's good game design.
Yeah,
I would say, though, Melderon, you do have that to a sense. But what I'm saying is that you can find a way to tank as even a hunter or as or as any other. Like, you can. There is enough out there for you to work. You're not going to
tank a whole raid.
Yeah, you're not going to tank a raid as a hunter.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, my TLDR point is that the plethora of items and consumables allow for next level creativity. Next level shit. People are still figuring out stuff to this day of weird little applications you can use for whatever. Like, and it adds balance. It fills in the cracks, right? You have these balance that are kind of like these pillars, and this is like the sand that fills it all in, and it allows for this kind of like wiggle room and flexibility. I don't know. It's a beautiful thing, man. The items and the consumables.
No, I'm not arguing that. It's a beautiful mess. It is a beautiful mess, and I'll never argue that. All I'm saying is that there's nothing wrong with having a beautifully crafted RPG.
I agree, and I think you're just misconstruing what at least what I'm thinking for a second, because I agree with Kargoz in a large way. That there are so many things that no matter what class you are, like everyone gets, the ability to use, engineering and do these things, right? So the warrior who's already higher up in the pole in this one aspect goes against the, say the warlock, what I'm just using two classes. They both have engineering, they're still at equal lengths of each other. Everyone has the choice to go out and do these extra things. So everyone in that level playing field, it doesn't exist in vanilla, right? Because there's already those, classes that do better in PvP, those classes that do better in PvE. But I think what Kargoz is saying is that there's so many things that you can go out and do to make yourself more creative, to do things that your class might not be able to do. Yeah, you still not be able to.
What if the other class that's better at you does the same thing?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying.
But I'm saying in reality, in conceptually, like the maximum you can do is one thing. But in reality, I'd say even in the top raids, man, is everyone going to have every world buff? Is everybody going to have fucking food buff, brilliant mana oil, dark rune, demonic rune, fucking flasks, lung juice, cocktail, gizzard gun?
Most people will have. Oh, thank you, Raven HCF.
Raging, we got a
digging the stream, brother. Yeah, $5 top chat.
Raven, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people come to raids prepared. Like, most guilds make you come to raid prepared.
Yeah. But I think the end result, the end story is that if you want to play a balanced druid, find a guild that's going to let you do it.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Just do that.
Be prepared. Be prepared to have to go the extra mile to prove your worth. You're not going to be.
Lestor's saying yes, Lol. Every single person in the world first guilds are going to have those. I 100% agree with you, Lestor. Well, what percentage of the people of the player base are going to be operating at that high level? I think it's a
1%.
I'd say it's 1. Yeah, 1% sounds realistic to me. So as soon as you get out of that tier, I think you have a lot of wiggle room in vanilla, man. You can kind of.
Oh, you absolutely do. I'm not arguing that at all.
You can be an enthusiast about a class or a spec and math it out and have a spreadsheet and understand the stat weights at every single tier, raid tier, right? Like, let's say you're a boomkin or whatever, and you understand the stat weights at every raid tier, and you're going to compare piece for piece, and you understand mathematically how it works out, and you farmed all your demonic runes. Are you going to do better than a player that's like a shitter and not trying hard, even though they're playing a potentially more optimal class? I think you will. I think you definitely will, and will be viable in some capacity.
Like, say, for example, like mages, right? Okay, mages, you have less problems to go, right? You have evocate if you have to, you have mana crystals if you have to, and chances are you might not even need that demonic rune. You might not even need that, as a shadow priest will, right? As a shadow, like Basher Head is saying, I remember because I did the same thing. You're going to come prepared to those raids because you know what you're going to need in advance, right? And I 100% agree with Melderon. What he's saying is there are classes that will always do better in certain scenarios, right? A hunter is always going to be the best leveler. And there are some things you can do as other classes to help your
But
leveling process.
can you outpace a hunter to 60 if he's not that
Absolutely.
great? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
we're
With
talking
any
about
other class.
averages.
Is
Yeah,
what
we're
I'm
talking
saying.
about averages, though.
This is the
Yeah.
magic of it, though, right? So yes, conceptually, hunter will be the world first 60, right? Female night elf hunter is the meme, right? But
Yeah.
let's say we're going from a little bit down from that level of play where you know every quest or whatever. Man, you'll see some players who are playing classes that are traditionally seen as very slow to level,
Yeah.
who are going to be right up there with them. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I'm sure
There
there's gonna be
are,
some warriors that
absolutely.
are gonna get up really fast.
Yeah.
They're gonna be popping spear
But
gear.
they're
They're
gonna
gonna
have
be
to.
doing all kinds of stuff.
You look at their
crazy,
time
you know?
played, and they might probably have had to put in a couple more hours in that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean the thing is, I think the developers balanced the game around those three aspects. That's how they did it. They didn't balance
I agree.
in PvE. They didn't balance in PvP. They said, let's look at leveling, let's look at PvP, and look at PvE, and let's balance around those three main aspects. And I think that's how they did it. Personally, that's how I
Yeah.
think they did it.
And
Do
I
you
agree.
think,
and
I don't think they understood the full implications of the balancing, though. I don't know if they had the foresight to see how big of a deal that Skull of Impending Doom and Free Action Potion would have on
No,
the metagame.
no.
And that
It was pro.
it's really almost all the items and consumables that they added to the game that allows this game to really shine. And it's almost like Hearthstone. They have that saying, easy to play or deceptively simple, whatever. Whoever plays Hearthstone, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what
Vanilla
you
WoW
mean,
is
yeah.
almost like that. If you're like from the outside looking in, you look at vanilla, you're like, yo, bro, look at this. Like the pace is so slow. Look at the spells. Like it's not. But you dig down deep, the rabbit hole goes deep, boys. Like it goes
Yeah.
so deep. I would almost say that vanilla WoW is more complex than even BFA right now. Like, shots fired. But
The
Oh,
thing is,
absolutely.
they were not scared to try stuff. They were not scared to do some experimentation with gear and with everything, basically. And the longer they went, the more expansions came, the more scared they got to try new stuff.
the more scared. I like that, dude. You always hear me
Yeah.
say unapologetic game design. They were unapologetically brutal with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they just tried whatever they thought was fun. And if it didn't work out, yeah, it didn't work out, and it didn't matter. So that's
Yeah,
something I really like in vanilla. And okay, the Burning Crusade has some very good stuff, and it's in some parts it's better, but in most parts I still prefer the way they did it in vanilla WoW, and I wish they would do it again if they made something new.
It's almost like true to that whole sandbox style of an MMO, though, man. They almost let the creativity in the hands of the players, people to kind of figure stuff out. It's more
Yeah,
like
it's. I think it was. If you listen to those interviews with what's his name? You guys
John
interviewed
Stats?
him. Yeah,
John Stats. Yeah.
you can hear people at Blizzard. If you worked at Blizzard and you had a good idea, well, basically they just put it in the game if they thought it was fun. And nowadays everything needs to be balanced perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Everything needs to be really fair for everyone, otherwise it cannot be put in the game.
And sometimes things happened where the game almost broke. You know what I mean? Like where things like where you had Reckoning, stacks out the ass, and and I think the things that were a little too
Or when Wind Fury
crazy,
could proc off of Wind Fury.
Yeah, exactly. When things were a little too crazy, Blizzard went in and said, okay. But there were a lot of things that kind of, I wouldn't say slipped through the cracks, but Blizzard thought that, okay, not many people are doing it. It's not that big of a deal, so let's leave it in there. And I think that's what makes vanilla really fun, right? There's so much to explore. And, I'll be the first person to say, if you want to play Elemental, go ahead, do it in a raid, but be prepared to spend more time farming consumables, be prepared to put more time and effort into showing that, into proving your worth. And, there might only be one or two spots. You might have to actively try to find a guild that will allow that. But you can do it. You can play Ret. You can play Shadow. Especially that we're going to be starting off with 16 debuff slots. That's going to make a big difference as well.
That's going to be a huge thing. Yeah, that's true. Yep.
you have the ability to go above and beyond, and actually way above and beyond, not just a little bit above and beyond. Like you can go super deep with it if you want to really go the extra 9 yards and be able. And Vanilla's allowing you to perform better if you go harder.
But like Melderon said, I really think we made this guide, and some of our numbers we based on like we gave certain classes points off because they're limited to one role or limited to one spec. But when you look at everything based in the three aspects of a game that we look at, which is PvE, PvP, and leveling, it really does kind of put everything down to in that respect, start putting things down to level playing field, right? Because warriors who might have, like, we gave them a 10 in PvE, right? Because not only do they have some of the highest capacity for DPS, but they're also, you know, the best
tank in the game.
In vanilla, we give them the highest possible rating for PvE. When in leveling, they got the lowest because, you know, on average, they have the lowest leveling speed. When hunters got a 10 in leveling and maybe a 4 or a 5 in PvE. So when you start looking at things in a whole, when you start looking at things not just in PvE, because a lot of people, but then there's the thing, some people don't care about PvP, some people don't care about PvE, but you have to at least take that into effect when you're looking at the class and how it's balanced throughout the entire game. So, like, I know some people say, "Oh, I don't care about druids in PvP." Well, druids do really well in PvP, and they do also do really well in leveling. However, in PvE, you're going to be limited mostly to healing, and if you want a DPS, you're going to have to really go above and beyond.
You can off-tank as well. You can
off-tank as well, right? You can, like, again, you still are that jack of all trade, master of none. And I think when you put in the professions and you put in all these other things, it's still, it doesn't, like it does give it a point to where you can have an upper hand in this and that, but I think it doesn't change the fact at the end of the day that those classes are going to have a hard time in whatever aspect they are lowest in, and a better time whatever aspect they're higher. You know, and yeah, there are things in the game that will allow you to make that time a little bit easier, but you're going to have to put the time and effort to farm those things and to get those things. So nothing comes free in vanilla WoW, right? Everything is time investment or, you know, money investment, whatever.
Yeah, even like warriors, and people will bitch and complain about warriors being the top DPS. Well, they worked their asses off to get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did, and you know, and they also worked their asses crying every time piece of their gear. So
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, there's some items in the game though that really embody vanilla. So I don't know if you guys in the chat have items that come to mind when you think of vanilla and what made vanilla so great. There's a few that come right off the top of the head, like carrot on the stick. I love how there's trinkets that increase your movement speed by 3%, and it's so flavorful. It's just so amazing. This is one item I discovered recently while doing this hunter guide. It's just, it embodies like everything that I like about vanilla. It's the boggling root, guys. This is like, this, if you really want to go super try hard in a raid and you want to get every possible buff, you got to get a boggling root to increase your damage by 1. And the way you get this is you create a night elf character and you go through the motions and you go do this one quest and a boggling will spawn, like a single boggling, and you kill his ass and you get a boggling root. And this to me is emblematic of the idea that you can go way above and beyond the Call of Duty to have to be way more prepared, to be way more knowledgeable. And tell me, so Fury Warrior best DPS, right? But let's put like a 60% skill level Fury Warrior versus an amazing player, god tier player, knows all the items in the game, who's playing at that 95% capacity. I think you could put him on a suboptimal class and he's going to outperform him.
I agree, but I'd argue that that's also a low percentage of the population, right? Yeah. So that's also top 1%.
True.
You know what I mean?
True. Only if he has a boggling root, though.
But the big question is, how do you get this if you're a horde? That means you gotta make a. You probably won't be able to make.
Is there a horde equivalent? I
don't think it's soulbound. I don't think it's soulbound. I think you could probably trade it or sell it.
Well, the thing is, so you can hey, here it is now, guys. Make your low level night elves. Go to the neutral auction house. Put a bunch of boggling roots. You might make a fortune.
50 gold a piece.
Yeah, you heard it here first.
My question to you, chat, is: are you willing to farm up some motherfucking boggling roots so you can go the extra 9 yards? And the fact that you're gonna say no means that I think that there's some viability with some of these kind of meme specs. Because what if one of these meme spec people, they're willing to go the extra 9, they're willing to farm up a stack of boggling roots, and they're gonna come to the raid way more equipped than you.
One DPS.
One damage, dude. That's
one
it.
Damage.
Not even one DPS, dude. A single damage point. Every point matters, right? So, this is.
Man.
Vanilla is just awesome, man. Best game.
It is.
Dude.
It is. So much flavor.
There's so much.
I think the only thing that I compare it to is like I don't play a lot of MOBAs, but I play Dota 2, and you know the meta that surrounds the weaponry and the items, and it's almost like that.
I'd say it's even more.
Oh, it is. I think it's larger.
Absolutely.
It's definitely larger, but it's almost like a MOBA in the respect that you have this huge meta around consumables and items for PvP and PvE.
And I'm still learning, like, every single day. I think I know a lot about this game. Every single day I'm still learning about something about this game. Whether it's, you know, something that was in the game, something that, you know, was different on private servers that I don't remember from vanilla. There's so many things that even for the seasoned player, you can still be surprised about and still be excited about. So I'm really excited about Classic WoW, dude. I know what I'm gonna do when I first make my first character. I know what I want to do, how I want to get there. I know what gear I want to get. But I guarantee you, I'm still gonna have some surprising times and some amazing times. It's
so
gonna be
much fun, though, dude.
It's gonna be amazing.
I have never played with these guys. I don't think you guys might think we all play together on a server.
I have ganked you a few times
on
though.
Voldemort server. Yes, he did gank me. He did gank me on Voldemort server. He ganked me, dude. I was leveling my paladin. I was like, Defcamp, no, dude, fuck. I actually got ganked by someone in my own guild on Horde side. We made a guild called something, and I'm in Stranglethorn Vale, and I'm on the paladin, and I'm running through, and he starts ganking me, and I'm like, brother, it's me, dude, stop killing me. And he killed me, but I am.
And then Connor messaged me. He was like, "Dude, yeah, kill him again." And then I killed him.
I can't
just
find
everybody in your party
the words to describe how much I am looking forward to playing Classic with you guys. Though.
Oh,
I think it would be so much fun
Yeah.
to raid and do dungeons, and it's gonna be an era, dude. It's gonna be an era.
We gotta do some shaman
We need
tanking,
more
dude.
people from EU though.
From EU? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Some EU players
Or
are gonna
you
have to
guys
take a
can
L.
play in a EU server.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll have my lines character. So the thing is, I don't know how it's gonna, because on current WoW, there's EU and US servers, and they're different accounts, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you need another
Yeah.
subscription, most likely, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we
it
love you,
sucks,
EU
but-
guys. We do.
Yeah, a lot of EU people in here, man. Where's everybody from, man? Let's show some country love right now.
A lot of passion
Sweden.
from the EU players, definitely.
Dude, I love
Russians too, bro. Russians are really into it. I think there's like a whole like a movement right now for Russian players to get involved.
They're into it too. Yeah, they're also into shutting
into your content as well.
They like the guides apparently. Yeah, they like the guides.
They love guys. They love guys.
I've
yeah.
been
They'll
low-key
allow-
tuning into Russian streams recently, and they're like, Kargoz, like, thank you for the guides, man. Like, it's so good. The Russians love classic WoW, man.
Canada.
Like, this game hit home.
China,
with everybody.
Germany,
Wow,
Norway.
look at this. Wow,
Cali,
Belgium,
Germany,
Australia,
France,
Bosnia, dude. Who's from the
Scotland,
weirdest
Mercia.
Michigan. Good country, Michigan.
Yeah, it's a good
Belgium.
country.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
me.
Wow, we got some Australians here, and then we got Josh from
China?
Portuguese.
Portugal,
Massachusetts,
USSR, dude.
Back
Dude,
in USSR,
Back up, we went back
Russia,
in time.
nah,
and-
dude.
Pennsylvania, hell yeah.
There we go, Pennsylvania.
Oh
Scandinavia,
man, we
Denmark,
got
Holland,
I think
Norway.
Bosnia
Wow.
was the weirdest one we got. So we're not weird, but you know, like
China
unique,
number
you know,
one.
unique. Montreal. I didn't know you played
Anyone-
guitar, by the way, Defcamp. That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's
I
crazy.
have the guitar right here.
Wait, TS, are you actually from Nigeria or just trolling? Because we want to have someone from Africa to come on Def Talk.
We would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
North Korea. You're from North Korea, really, bro? You're from North Korea. You're playing right now from North Korea right now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mozambique.
There are more EU listeners than US listeners, I
It
think.
looks like it. Yeah. Looks
Yeah.
like
I'm
it.
telling you, dude, the EU are very passionate people when it comes
Yes,
to
they are.
This
When
game
it comes to
touched,
WoW,
touched some
my
souls, man.
guitar here.
Mm-hmm. Oh hell yeah,
we have
Defcamp.
people from India in the chat. Nice. Excellent.
India.
That is great, man.
I want to see. There's one thing I'm going to miss about is playing with people on the server that cannot be named. We've met people like Dunedain. We've met people like a lot of people, honestly, that we've met on our channel that I do want to play with come Classic. So
Right?
that is one thing I'm kind of not looking forward to, is if they are split servers. So if that is the case, though, guys, I will try my best to try to have an account on a EU server as well, and I'll probably have that as my Alliance account where I'll have my Paladin at.
It has been so real, though, guys. I mean, I'm sure you guys have had the same experience. Like, how many people we've met through this game in the past couple months? It's been crazy. How many cool
Oh my
people?
god! Oh my god! In
Smart,
the past couple months, dude.
talented, passionate people the world over. It is amazing. It is so amazing. Man, I don't know. People may look at you from the outside like, man, you just stay at home all day on your computer. I don't feel lonely at all, dude. I don't know if you guys can relate on this. I feel extremely like socialized, if that makes sense.
Especially since we've been collaborating with other content creators.
Oh
Absolutely.
my god!
Yeah.
But Melderon said something the other day on one of our Def Talks that really resonated with me. Right? So like, say you meet someone in the outside world, right, and you're like, oh, you're an Eagles fan, we're an Eagles fan too. But if you find out they play WoW, it's like you're part of this inside joke that nobody else knows.
100%.
You're part of this. like community, like, oh, you play WoW, and you're
Amen,
automatically like friends with him until you find out he's an Alliance player.
Even still, bro.
I'm kidding.
Or BFA.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
If you guys went out right now, whoever's watching right now, if you went out to the supermarket, whatever, somehow you struck up conversation with someone, and they were like, you know what, I'm actually kind of into this game, like classic World of Warcraft. Dude, you would like embrace them. Like you would be like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I love this game too. Like we would likely, if we all met each other in real life, we would be super
Bros.
tight homies, man.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
seriously, we'd buy each other, be buying each other
even
beers. Or
though
whatever, like,
even though we disagree with so many probably things and this and that, and when it comes down to it, guys, we love this fucking game.
I do have a hard time remembering that though when I get ganked by a gnome rogue. I have to say, it's hard for me to remember that you know.
I told you guys, that's exactly what it is. He's been ganked by too many gnome rogues.
It's hard for me to remember that that person's a good person potentially. You know what I mean? I think he's the scum of the earth, but for that moment. Yo,
One
same
of my
thing.
best real-life friends was someone I played WoW with for a long time.
Wow, there you go.
I bet most people have real-life friends who played WoW.
No doubt.
I know people who've gotten married, you know, to people that they met in WoW. Like, I've heard stories of people that got married. I've heard stories of people that moved in with people, like never met them in real life, and now they like live with them. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? Because like you tell, like for me at least, I've told some people. I remember I was going like through a really dark time in my life, and you remember him, Melderon. His name was Sincor. Remember him?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And man, like this guy, I never met him in my life, right? And he like literally helped me through one of the darkest times of my life.
Legend.
Someone that I 2v2'd with in BC, right? It was crazy, absolutely insane that this person I've never met with my entire life, I've told shit that I've never told anyone else. Well, you know, other than like Melderon and shit. It's crazy, man. You know.
Same. I still have people in my Skype friends who every time a new WoW expansion comes out, we talk again, we play again together, and well, someone is from Belgium as well, and we wanted to meet, but then WoW really became crap, and we never met. But yeah, I bet there are a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, dude, and you know what? The friends that I had that I introduced to WoW became stronger friends because of that. So
yes
like,
or
if I had
no? Friends that are forged with a common interest are stronger.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goes without saying,
and when
right?
that common interest is classic WoW, it's even stronger.
So when that common interest is like partying and you go out, yes, you can make friends. Don't get me wrong. You can go out and you're just, you know, you're used to just chugging Jaeger with people. You're going out and crushing and slaying people left and right. It's fantastic. But that is not the same, man. Like I've noticed, at least in college, going through it, like you'll meet people in college that your common interest is partying, going out, doing whatever. It's not as substantial, man. Like even like if it's sports or tennis or classic WoW, the people that, you know, like my groomsmen at my wedding, right? I have like 5 or 6 groomsmen. Mm-hmm. That's one of the threads that kept us all together, man. We were playing back in high school together, playing WoW together. It's just when you have friends with a common interest that you're actually doing something else other than partying. That's my point. That it's going to be a stronger friendship, you know? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like being part of this, like I said, this inside joke that no one. You know what I mean? Melderon and I do it all the time. Be like, oh, dude, you know, you're hammered, or say he got like hammered last night. I'm like, and he's like, got a hangover. I'm like, oh, I got a rank 1 cleanse on you right now, or rank 1 renew. You know what I mean?
I watched that dev
like
talk with those brothers, dude. That was a good one, man. I like that one.
Did you hear the end part?
I heard the story. Yeah.
Oh,
the
dude,
story?
how good was that story, man?
Okay, so
spoilers.
you guys,
I still have
if you
to
guys
watch
don't know, with no spoilers, but the recent Dev Talk, we had a pair of brothers come on, and it was like two groups of brothers talking, and these guys actually wrote a short story for us on stream, well, not on stream, but on the video, and it was really well done.
Yeah.
And there's a link in the description if you want to read it yourself of that video. But yeah, it's so humbling, and we also got to meet one of our patrons recently, and he gave us a present.
Want me to show them real quick?
Wow.
Hold on one sec.
Way.
Hold on 1 sec. Yeah.
Wait, you met him IRL?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually met him in
No,
Philly,
no.
went to dinner, and he made us this. And
Yeah,
it's
hold on one sec. Let me hold on one sec.
so
That is
friggin'
sick.
humbling. Dude.
I was just
So
about
humbling.
to ask you if you've met anyone from the whole YouTube content creation in real life. I still have not. Oh, we're getting a
Yeah,
close-up
just
of Melderon's
so far, just
gorgeous face there.
Defcamp.
It's a nice, yeah, dude. It's a nice ear. You got.
Oh, did he turn up his camera?
That's
for
a nice
second?
ear, bro. That's all good. He'll be back. But
So anyway, but it was so humbling to actually meet someone in the community and someone who, so not to get, but he recently went through a loss, and it was a very, very big loss for him, and he was basically explaining how our videos helped him through it, and that was like, I mean, you're like, yeah, okay, you know what I mean? Like, my videos help you through a loss or whatever, but he, you know, sent us an email and just told us how he'd watch our videos at work, and it helped him go through all this crap. And
you guys ready? Oh, did I miss the cameras?
Very humbling.
It's all good.
Okay.
I will say, I've watched many a Melderon vlog, and it's cheered me up. I have to say, real talk. You had a couple when you're in the woods. If you guys haven't seen Melderon vlogs, they are A1 vlogs.
Guys, check this out.
He's just sitting in the woods.
Look at that.
What is that?
Sorry.
Let me see.
That's the thing. It's a paladin.
Oh, dude.
In tier 2.
He built that with
this,
like, metal.
What?
Yeah.
Because he knows how much I love paladins, dude. Like, how awesome.
Dude, that's some serious craftsmanship right there.
It's literally Dunedain's picture.
That is sick, dude.
Yeah.
That is so sick. That is so sick.
Shouts out to Early Bird Rogue.
Yeah.
You met Early Bird?
Yeah.
No, you didn't, too.
Yes, we
met
did,
Early
dude.
Bird?
Yeah.
I can only imagine through your Def Talk series how many people you've met. Basically 30 people, right? 30 just people from all over, the world. It's like
at least 30 people. Well, yeah. And so that's like got to know people and talk to them, and all I can say from all those people we talked to is that like everyone loves this freaking game.
Oh
like,
my god, everyone is so passionate.
Yeah.
From John Stats to the guy who just plays, from the guy that we had from Brazil. Like, everyone is just so passionate about this game, whether they worked on it, whether they're a content creator, or whether they're just a freaking player. They love this game, and it's more to them than just a game. That's the common theme.
And vanilla was the purest sense of what we love about this game. That's what I would say to it, too. Like, I've met many friends in BC and Wrath and stuff like this, but vanilla was the most raw, dude. It was the most raw, amazing version. Dude.
Yeah, it had so many unexpected things, like the gates of Anchorage.
Oh my god,
stuff like that. Things I never tried again later. That's really something I love about Vanilla WoW.
Yeah, there's things that like I will never forget. Like I talked about it in that one episode where I had it was in vanilla, and it was basically this giant war. I call it the Braveheart moment. We talked about it, and just things like that where it's this huge war. We had 3.5 alliance groups that tried to storm the front gates of Orgrimmar, and we just got destroyed. But it was amazing. Like moments like that, I can remember where I was, what I was doing, and there are very few moments that I can remember in real life, other than like really crazy things that happened. But I can remember that moment and what I was doing and what happened that day. Like, it's just crazy how much of an impact that's made.
Totally. Can I ask you guys something though? What do you guys think has the staying? What about classic WoW gives it the staying power that it does? Like, how come I'm looking at this image right now in Mulgore? I know exactly where it is. I've heard the music probably 10 million times. But I still want to go there and kill those gnolls. Like, why is it? What magical element did they put this game? Did they just infuse crack cocaine into the game that just makes you want to play forever? Like, what is it about this game?
I think like perfect said, the community, and I also think the sense of adventure, and one of the biggest things for me is the sense of immersion, right? And the sense of time investment in this game, and how I felt my character grow, and put myself into that character. So like for my priest, I've put myself into this character. I've grown with him. I've grown with the community. I've grown with the adventure and the world itself. The actual world of Azeroth is one of the biggest characters to me in that game. All of that combined with how much I just love the community, and I love the actual just the what's it called when the fantasy, class fantasy, the fantasy of being that person in the game. It's all those things for me.
Yeah, I think as an RPG fan, real quick, just really quick one. As an RPG fan, it's beautifully crafted around the RPG experience in tabletop games, and I think when you think about what a paladin is, a paladin, a shaman is a shaman. When you think about what a hunter is, what a druid is, it's just great. It's just very, very done very well. That's real quick. That's all I had to say. Yeah.
I like how rich it is in every aspect of the game. For example, I was watching those profession videos from Craze, and the way they did professions, it might not have been perfect, but like you have so many choices. For example, if you're a leather worker, you can choose between 3 specializations, stuff like that. There's so much in so many different aspects of the game that there's a lot of choices, a lot of richness in it, and you want to try it out. Basically you want to try all of it, but you can't on a single character, so you keep making new characters and you keep trying new things, and there's always something new to try out because it's so rich. And I think that's what vanilla has and what the later expansions don't have as much.
So I can chime in here too. So I love the community. Don't get me wrong. The community, I think for an extended period of time, I wouldn't be able to play on a dead server or something like that, right? But like I've said before, leveling is my favorite part of the game. It has been, and for me, as soon as I step into the game, second one, I'm able to take the game seriously and suspend reality. I don't know, it's a combination of factors at work, but if you were to screenshot any image, and I've done this for all the assets for my guides, you can look anywhere in the World of Warcraft and hit print screen, and if you paste that into Paint or whatever, it's going to look like a watercolor painting. It's going to look beautiful. It's going to look absolutely beautiful and timeless. The second thing, so I can take it seriously. I'm able to suspend reality, whereas opposed to even TV shows, movies, I'm not able to suspend reality because I can't take it seriously. And you may look at it at first glance and say, oh, it looks really cartoony and stylized, but for some reason I can take it seriously. So that ties into the immersion. The second thing is I think the power creep with the leveling is on point, dude. They did it so you're not gratified too much, you're not gratified too little. You feel like the carrot on a stick is dangling at the perfect distance from your mouth that you want to keep on going, dude. The music, the ambience, it triggers an emotional response in me. I hear this music, it gets me thinking about philosophical things. I start thinking about my overarching metaphysical foundation of the world and the cosmos and all this. I play with the music on. You know,
absolutely,
whatever.
Yes.
Like people don't. Absolutely. Most people probably don't. I do. I play with it on. I like it.
I do as well.
It soothes me. It's soothing to me. You know.
There's Chimley. Chimley just piped up. Yeah, the music.
Oh, there's Chimley. You know, it's something I want to say that the more and more I've done this and known about it and kind of explored this, the more it's so true. Like Azeroth itself, the actual word, like the world, like you were saying, Kargoz. You know, when you log in there, the music, the aesthetics, everything. For a second, just put yourself in another game. Like Azeroth is so fucking beautiful
and big.
All the zones and so big. It's so magical. This was one of the first games where I was introduced to an entire world, right? Where there's different countries, there's different continents, different zones. The world for me is one of the biggest characters that I interact with. You know, you interact with other characters.
The world is a character. I love it. Keep going, sir.
But the world itself is a character. And Blizzard did such an amazing job on that character. Every little detail that's in BRD, every little detail that's in Ashenvale, every little detail that's in Wintergrass. I'm sorry, Winterspring. So Wintergrass. Every little detail that's put into Ironforge. Like it's amazing. The NPCs, the quests, everything you encounter while in that game is infatuating. It's mesmerizing. It's so good.
It's too many things to even put your finger on. Like even that now.
Exactly. And like I feel like a lot of times we don't realize just how magical and how amazing Azeroth is. Like that character that's there every time you log in is Azeroth, right? It's there every time you're there. Well, if you can't log in right now, but you know, it's the thing that's waiting for you. When you look up and you see the sky and you see that mist, when the music starts in Ironforge, when you walk into the front gates of Orgrimmar, all those little things that come together and make you feel like you're in Azeroth and you're there, whether it was the first time, whether it's the 10,000th time, you still get that embracing feeling, that warm, embracing feeling. That's for me.
Piggybacking on that too. So Classic does such a good job of, even if you understand advanced concepts about the class and their mechanics and you know how they pan out when it comes to the parses and you've looked at all this, somehow I'm still able to go into the game and I'll be playing a warrior or something. I know how amazing warriors are, and I'll see a druid leveling right next to me and I go, damn, dude, that guy looks like he's having a good time, man. Maybe I should play druid, man. Druid looks so fun. And the other thing, not only the classes, that's speaking to the class and how amazingly unique and flavorful even the colors there is, but looking at Mulgore right now, the architecture, the lore, the culture of the specific races.
Yep.
Everything is just, dude, A1. I could just, you know, we could just talk indefinitely about this stuff, man. Like,
I know.
There's too much here, man. There's too much.
It's an amazingly crafted game. You could tell that the development team really put their hearts and souls into it, and you can obviously tell they didn't do it for money, because I think a lot of these guys would have done it for free. How beautiful this thing came out, maybe not for free, but I think you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of passion involved in this game. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't. It was well thought out. Every little doodad, every little dream catcher that's hanging off the Torin house, you know. All these little things that you see and you're like, holy shit, this game is fucking beautiful.
It's a game made from gamers to gamers.
Yes. And I think that's what makes it so sad when we look at Blizzard now, right? Because we see what they were capable of at their peak and what amazing work they've done, and we know what they can create, and we know what they've done in the past. And I think that's why it's like that rapper or that band that had that amazing hit, or that made a great couple albums, and now every album you're waiting for that album to be that old album again, like Metallica or something like that. You know what I mean? Because you know what they're capable of. You know they encapsulate that in one time. They got it at one time, but why can't they do it again? Why can't they do it again? So the best thing they can do is just have it available again for us, and that's it, right? That's all they can do, I think, at this point. But I think that's why, for me, like, can that ever be recreated in another game? Like, will we ever see anything quite like classic WoW, vanilla WoW again? I don't know. I don't know if it can be topped. Like, I've tried so many other games where I've invested time into, but I get to a point where I'm like, it's not classic WoW. It's not, you know, the WoW that I fell in love with. Classic TBC, early Wrath, like that time period.
Yeah.
I can get into games like you know, like Dark Souls, but I can't invest the kind of time that I can invest within classic WoW. Like, I
can't.
You know what I mean? I can't.
No game does it, dude. I always fall back to WoW, dude. Like, it's no contest. I don't know. It just did something to me, man.
Yeah, I know, and it ruined gaming for you forever, right?
Yeah.
Because like no game will ever compare. It's so hard. Like, yeah, there's amazing games that came out there, like, you know, the Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and, you know, God of War, and all this and that. But when it comes down to it, man, like, what other game gives you?
Yeah, has anyone in chat ever like quit the game for some reason in the past? And it doesn't have to be classic; it could be any expansion. And you go through that period of like you don't play, and then at some point something triggers you, and you just start daydreaming about it, and you start thinking about it, and you start like it just enters your mind, and you can't stop thinking about it or dreaming about it. And then you have to log on and resub. Did it ever happen to anyone?
Yeah,
like
that happened to me a few times.
Time and time again, man.
Every time.
Yeah, if Classic WoW didn't exist on Voldemort server, I would probably play BFA right now, because I would have to have some form of Warcraft in my life.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed, dude.
Yeah.
Beautifully said.
Yeah, probably. I agree as well. And that's why I was playing retail up until I started playing private servers. Very true.
It's an amazing experience. And the only thing I can compare it to, this is going to sound really fucked up, is drugs. I mean, like,
I know.
I quit cigarettes 4 years ago, and I want a cigarette every day, but I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? Because I know the health benefits of not smoking. But
right, well,
there's not a day. Yeah. I mean, like when I go to a bar, I think it's different for like other types of drugs.
Yeah, because because I look at drugs, I'll like lead me. Like, WoW isn't going to lead me to the path where I sell all my shit and I start, and I'm homeless.
What I mean is,
man, I need more WoW.
What I mean is, when I see someone light up a cigarette, I'm like, oh, wow, it looks so good. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's just how I feel about it. And
I know what you mean.
But yeah, there you go, Daniel. Don't do drugs, just play WoW, because it's
cheap too. It's cheap.
WoW
is cheap, man. What else is that cheap, bro, in life? Like, you go see a movie, it's like $50. Like, you go get popcorn.
That our last guest brought up, you know, when we had the brothers on Def Talking, an idea that he had, which I thought was great, is like he has this journal where, you know, or as we say, a gurnal, or he had a journal where he. Never mind. It's a joke that I shouldn't have said. It's stupid. Okay, so yeah, he has a journal. And he literally like writes down what he encounters that day in Azeroth, so that 10 years from now, like, he has a daughter, right? And he wants to be able to share those experiences. Some people might be like, that's crazy, that's insane. I think that's amazing. I think that's awesome, right? Because where some people might be having these really cool, you know, interactions and things like that in other places, a lot of us are having that within WoW. And a lot of things that happen to me within WoW that I kind of remember, like, oh, I wish I wrote that down, or I wish I could remember this or that. There's so many things that I do remember, but there's also so many moments that I totally forgot about that were just as epic and amazing as a lot of those other moments. And I forgot about them because we've been playing this game for the better part of a decade, you know, off and on.
Yep. One thing,
like, how cool is that to be able to write shit down and like revisit that? You know what I mean?
One thing too, I was thinking about too, when I think back on my childhood, and you've said this before, Defcamp, and I remember this is one of the first videos I watched of you guys. It got me really invested emotionally into your channel because it was very fucking raw and transparent. But so people talk about escapism and playing WoW, playing MMOs to escape painful shit, right? Like bad shit that's happening or whatever, right? So yeah, I always had a kind of a privileged life. It wasn't, I can't really say I'm complaining about much, but I do specifically remember I've never been a great student, right? I don't know. I just kind of existed in school. I never failed anything, but you know, getting a lot of, you know, pressure. If you're not really one of the most successful students, or whatever, you get lots of pressure. Oh, you got to do this, you got to do that, and a lot of the teachers would kind of put you down or make you feel like you're not, you know, not the best student. And there's this big pressure to be like an A student, right? And I don't know. I remember. I guess the point I'm getting to is that I think that escapism, like, or the escape that WoW offers to some people, can actually be kind of a healthy thing. Imagine if someone loses a loved one. Imagine if someone is going through you know, sorry, as if it's a feels bad mad moment. But games like this can actually offer a really good like path of healing, or just kind of like you know, you get what I'm saying with it, right? And that's something.
You know, I've talked about this before, and you know, I can literally say without a doubt, I know how this might sound to some people, that WoW, in some form or another, has saved my life. In some form or another, and some people might be like, really? There was a time when I was addicted to a certain substance that I didn't know what to do with myself. And for about a year, I didn't trust myself basically leaving my own house. For that year, I played WoW. And yeah, it might not have been the healthiest thing to do, but it kept me from putting something in my veins.
Oh, way healthier, yeah.
You know, from potentially killing myself. Yeah. You know, I literally spent that year playing WoW, and it got me through that year, some of the darkest times of my life. Talking to people, you know, being real with people, having some amazing, you know, experiences that I wouldn't have had otherwise, that I probably would have.
Probably kept you connected with your brother too, right?
It did. You know, in that time, me and my brother, you know, we're still, you know, it was a really dark time in my life, and you know, I kind of shut myself away, but at least I still had Azeroth. At least I still had that world that I could escape to, and it really, literally did keep me from putting drugs in me, and it honestly, probably, like, you know, there are times I look back, I'm like, okay, you know, I played, you know, WoW for like a long time here and there, but like every time, like, because I relapsed a few times, and you know, I would get clean, I would relapse, get clean, I get relapse, and like pretty much every time that I would get clean, I would either, you know, get into a relationship or play WoW, and like I needed something to invest my time into. For a lot of that time, it was WoW. It was like that perfect escape where I could, you know. And like you said, like you said that so well. When you log on and you see those pixels, like everything in the real life just seems like fade away. It starts to fade away, right? And okay, what matters now is, okay, what consumes do I need? What quests do I need to do? What dungeon should I do? This and that and the other. Like, that's what you care about. All the other shit of the fucking day, whether you're working, whether you're, you know, you're worried about your fucking money and paying your rent, all that kind of shit
goes out the window. Absolutely. And I'll tell you, I mean, there's obviously a balance with anything in life, but my dad once told me something really good, that like, whoever you're meeting, doesn't matter if they're rich or they're poor, they're going through their own great battles.
Everyone's got problems.
Their own versions. Like, happiness scales up and down, right? So, like, whoever they are, it could be the fucking president of the United States, could be someone who's, you know, homeless, whatever. Like, they all have their own great battles to fight. And I'll tell you that, you know, games like WoW and stuff, if people are dealing with really painful shit, can be a great thing, man. That's all I'm gonna say. That's
You know, at every point in someone's life, you're gonna go through shit. You know, and it's like, you know, that's just life. Just the way it is. You know, life is painful. Not to sound really pessimistic from the Buddhist perspective. You know, life is pain, right? And then you have to go through that pain to really appreciate the good times. So, you know, and WoW could be the good times for a lot of people, and I think that it is. You know, WoW's done the same for me. So, but
you're such a shaman, Melderon.
He's a
Well,
shaman.
it's
He's
just-
a shaman.
Life is pain.
No, it's not
Let me give-
just pain,
Let me
but
give you a rank 7 healing wave.
No.
Here you go.
The two things from Buddhism that sticks with me is that suffering it happens,
Yeah.
and change is constant, right? So
Yep.
there's no such thing as something staying the same way forever, right?
Right.
So anyway, but Classic WoW kind of is a way of mitigating those two parts of humanity, right? The suffering and the constancy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because Classic WoW is going to be here to stay, guys. We have some form of constancy that we can actually go in and explore and
That's
enjoy.
so nice, dude. That is such a nice thing.
Dude, hearing that, like, you know, and like, I've already started thinking, like, oh my god, like, you know, what's gonna happen when, like, let's just enjoy, like, because I'm already thinking, like, oh, how long is Classic gonna be out till? They're gonna keep this going for how long? Whatever, blah 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 blah. Because like, I try to look. Sometimes I look way too far ahead, but like, we haven't even gotten there yet. Let's enjoy it when it gets here. Let's play together. Let's do the things we want to do. Yeah. I just can't. I just like sometimes I still think it's surreal. Do you guys still look and be like, can't believe they're actually releasing Classic WoW? Like, it's fucking crazy.
It's crazy, man. We're gonna have some years and years of good time. And I would say, for those of you guys watching right now, it's like there's never been, at least for me, maybe it's kind of a selfish thing. I don't know. I'm trying to think about it. So, okay, so normally in WoW, right, you spend all this time to gear up, and then your gear gets reset. The power level gets reset. Like a new expansion comes out,
right,
or whatever. And to me, being the selfish hunter player that I am, I would be like, why would I grind super hard to get all this gear if in like 10 months a new expansion is going to be out? I'm just going to go kind of, I'm going to go kind of medium level, just experience it a little bit, and then I will have still experienced it. But with Classic, it's not going anywhere, right? So if you get all characters to 60 in full BIS, you're not going anywhere. Like it's going to stay that way. So for me, TLDR, there's more of an incentive than ever to try hard and you know earn it. I don't know. That's one thing I'm excited about.
Yeah. Before I go, I just want to say something. We've done a really poor job of doing this in the past. Is that Kargoz? Do you mind linking both the Classic WoW Live YouTube channel and Dunedain's YouTube channel in the chat? Guys, if you want to watch, if you're coming in late, you didn't catch the whole thing, we re-upload these VODs to both Dunedain's channel and to Classic WoW Live's YouTube channel, and then they're also on the Defcamp Melderon TV podcasting. So if you're in Spotify, you can go to our website for those links. So if you really catch these things, either watch them or listen to them. You just listen to them. They're available on different resources. So just look out for those links.
Good call, bro.
We never do that, and I'm like, why don't we
I know.
do that?
People are always like, oh, I want to watch this. I came in late, and so definitely check out Dunedain's channel and the Classic WoW channel. And
there's both of them right there.
So I just wanted to like finish off with one thing. We were talking about, you know, the balancing, and we're talking about how a lot of like in Classic WoW, there's a lot of different, you know, ways to look at the game. But when it comes down to it, right, whether you're playing for leveling, whether you're playing for PvE or for PvP, you know, and I know a lot of people are going to tell you, like, don't play this class, don't play that class, whatever. Literally, guys, you know, do what you want to do. Like this, you know, like Melderon and I, you know, we talk about, like, yeah, there are classes that are going to be more optimal for certain things. There are classes that are going to be better for this or that, the other. But, like, what first and foremost comes to me is class fantasy, what I feel close with in my personality, and what I feel more comfortable playing. You know, you might want to be top DPS, but you might not like the play style of a warrior. You might want to be top DPS, and you might not like the play style of a mage. Do what you like. Like, that should be one of the first things that you think of. Like, what is appealing to you? What is the play style that you like?
I love it.
What is the class fantasy like? What is the immersion? Can you be more immersed? Like, maybe you don't feel immersed playing as a hunter. I myself would rather be a hunter without a pet. Like, that's the kind of thing. So I personally don't feel that connection with the hunter. You know what I mean? Yeah, like when everything's done at the end of the day, you're going to spend more time playing a class, I would think, that you enjoy playing, right?
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Defcamp, your sparking light bulbs are going off in my head right now. I have to make one statement. First of all, I absolutely love the weather effects in Classic. This rain, I'm about to fall asleep right now in front of this right now. This is incredible. Other thing I realized too is you guys know that there's seasonal stuff that you can fish. Like in WoW, like they actually added seasonality to WoW. You can only fish like winter squid and stuff. That's just an awesome thing. All right. Anyway, dude, look at the little pack of Kodo walking his little family. Fucking love this game. Anyway, all right. So this is my point, right? You go through a couple iterations of WoW and you try and be the the best and get top parse or whatever, and you try and be right there at the cutting edge. And after a while, I'm just trying to bestow any kind of thought process if it's valuable to anyone watching this right now. After a while, at least to me, it gets a little bit redundant. So to me, getting full best in slot is not the end goal for me. That is not like the absolute best end-all be-all evolution of my character. The best evolution of my character is to be liked and respected on a server playing a class that I enjoy the class fantasy and playstyle on. To me, that would be better than being best in slot. If you were just full best in slot, you had a character dropped in front of you, versus playing a class, but it may not necessarily be the class fantasy that you like, and you may have made a lot of enemies along the way, and maybe you fuck some people over or whatever. I would prefer what I said before, to be liked and respected, playing a class that I really enjoy the class fantasy and playstyle of. And that is my closing
I like that,
thought.
man.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I think
that's the key to happiness, right? In WoW, I think if you play a class just to be, you know, the top parse or this or that, that's not going to work for 99% of you out there. I think for 1% of you, those competitive, high-end raiders, maybe a little more than 1%, but the very small minority are going to feed off of just the numbers, the raw generated numbers, or the HKs, or the rank you are. But I think for the majority of players, it's about being happy with what you are at the end of the day and what you're playing and your interactions you had. So, it's a good point. Like, absolutely.
Yep. To each their
Final
own,
thoughts, Dunedain?
I completely agree with that, actually. So that's the reason we did 2 episodes on class fantasy, right?
I know, right? It's we were gonna talk about something different. We'll save it for next week. We're gonna talk about professions, and we have some other things. We have a lot of things we want to talk about, guys. So
professions we'll definitely get into next week. I think it's a huge topic we'll talk about. Absolutely.
This is number 10, guys. We've been doing this for 10 weeks, man. It has been an absolute pleasure, dude. The time flies. I love hanging out with you guys.
I know. I love it too.
It's
really fun.
Really not painful at all, man. Chilling with the chat, with the boys, man. Like,
and thank you guys so much for coming. I know we got a lot of people viewing today. Thank you guys. I want to just, like, I know, you know, a lot of you guys just hanging out, whatever. I just really appreciate you guys coming out, checking the stream. It really means a lot.
I think a part of me might miss this too, right? When Classic comes
Josh,
out,
24-hour podcast.
Josh, I don't know. Keep doing it when Classic comes out.
Hell yeah!
You think so? We're all gonna be so caught up, though, dude. We're all gonna be doing crazy shit.
We can have an update like 1 week after Classic, see where everyone is.
Ooh.
And
bro, I might have bags on my eyes like this, bro. Like,
like, I got ganked by 49 rogues today.
dude, this stream did not go well, dude.
All right, let's before we say goodbye, let's link those 2 channels again. So if you guys want to watch the, if you don't mind, Kargoz, if you guys want to watch the VODs, just subscribe to
the VODs.
Classified Live, Dunedain, and then if you guys want, I can't link, but if you guys want to, we have a SoundCloud link that you'll be able to. So SoundCloud goes to all the other different things, Spotify and everything. So if you just look for Defcamp Melderon TV or Def Talk on any of your podcast things, this will also come up. So if you just want to listen to the audio and not the video, so.
All right, so Dunedain needs some love, man. He needs more subs. Go sub him, and then here is the other channel for Classic Squad Live. If you want to watch the old ones of this, the old Good Morning Azeroth, they're all on that channel and also on their SoundCloud, like you said.
I just want to do a couple shout outs. So yeah, guys, definitely go check out Chimley. Go check out Dunedain. Go check out another guy's Dockin. Go check out
Classic. Countdown to Classic.
Countdown to Classic at countdowntoclassic.com.
Go check out
Perfect Stealth. Go check out Pogren Games. He actually started. Pogren started making videos. We got so many content creators.
Grace for Days.
There's so many good people out there, guys, that are either just starting making content. You guys know Josh from Countdown to Classic. He does an amazing job, you know, making his podcast. But Perfect Stealth, Pogren, Chimley, Dunedain, Grace for Days, all you guys, everyone who was in chat, Dockin, thank you guys so much for coming out tonight and checking out the podcast.
What a time to be alive. So many great content creators, man. Good people all around. I can't wait to see you guys at BlizzCon. I swear, seriously, man. I'm going to the next BlizzCon. We're all linking up. It's going to be great. All right, and you guys.
Hell yeah.
End the stream here, guys.
Love you guys.
Have a great one. See you next week. Goodbye, Azeroth.
Take it easy, guys.
Take care,
Take it easy,
Azeroth.
guys.
Have a good
Hopefully
one,
we get to
Azeroth.
play on Voldemort late at some point.
Good.